Hey guys, in this video I'm going to cover everything you need to know about the aiming style called tracking. But first, as always, a little explanation about what tracking really is. As you can see in the clip, tracking is a style of aiming where your crosshair follows your opponent in a continuous and smooth way. This type of aiming is commonly used in games with a high time to kill like Overwatch or Apex Legends, where it can take a significant amount of time to kill your opponent, especially when using a high rate of fire weapon in combination with rather low damage per bullet like a submachine gun for example. This aiming technique is very useful. If you're a complete beginner when it comes to first-person gaming, this aiming style is also the one you'll first adapt, as it is naturally to actively try to aim at your opponent even if you're not aware of the fact you're actually tracking. As it may look quite easy to just follow your opponent with your crosshair, you'll see there is a lot more to it than it seems once we take a closer look at the different aspects of this aiming style. When we dive deeper into this aiming style, we can distinguish three different layers or sub-skills that are included in this type of aiming. The first one is mouse control, second, reaction and correction speed, and third, reading. The first one, mouse control, is the ability to create fluent and smooth mouse motion, not having crosshair stuttering while following your enemy. A lot of players aren't even aware of the fact they suffer crosshair stuttering because they are focused on the target instead of their crosshair, which is a good thing, but not if you want to detect crosshair stuttering. If you want to detect crosshair stuttering, you need to focus on your crosshair and the current position relative to your target. If you do, most of you guys will notice that your crosshair is rather shaking instead of following a smooth motion, missing a lot more bullets than you might think. And that is also the reason why mouse control is a key skill to acquire in order to master the art of tracking. Next up is reaction and correction speed. The first part, reaction speed, is in this case how long it takes before you notice a change in your opponent's movement. In other words, the time it takes before you realize your opponent has changed direction. The second part is correction speed, or in this case the time it takes to reposition your crosshair back on the target after you realized your opponent has changed direction. In theory, you should perform a small but fast flick towards the target in order to minimize the correcting time. But in practice, this is very hard as you need to transit from a short fast mouse swipe back to a smooth mouse motion. Anyway, reaction and correction speed combined is the total time it takes before you're back on target after you change direction. Believe it or not, the player's reaction speed is the key factor that separates the pro players from the rest of us. Training on reaction speed in a proper way is therefore one of the most beneficial and fastest ways for improving your aim. That being said, you first need to obtain decent aim mechanics before focusing on reaction speed, but that's for another video. Now, the last skill is called reading, or in this case, reading your opponent. This is not as straightforward as the other skills, but for now it comes down to reading your opponent's movement by looking at the motion of his character model when changing direction. Another part of it is predicting your opponent's next move, taking factors like hit points, current weapon and map positioning into account. But this relies heavily on so-called game sense and experience, and goes a lot further than the scope for this video. Anyway, this was it for now. In the follow-up video, I will teach you how to effectively train your tracking skills, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. So I'll see you in the next one.